Holy shit! What a day it's been.
Yes, I knew there was going to be the thumbnail. Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna get to that here in a couple minutes. But
Talk some wrestling.
we are going to talk plenty. And then we're gonna watch the Quiet Place. I should have did this last night, but I had a whole bunch of other stuff on my mind. But for the last week or so, I've been hitting at something that we were doing that we were going to be attending, and until tonight, we were really not able to say anything. I still can't go into too much detail, cover in too much detail until tomorrow when we get the complete go ahead. But there was a lot of people sharing stuff. So, by the way, Austin and Bradley, if you were in there, the same goes for you too. So tonight we went to Netflix's Geek Week, or however they call it, and it's where they pick a few of their upcoming things, and they promote them with the people actually there. So the three things that they picked were Last Airbender, full a cast and crew was there. I got pictures of that, and Three Body Problem, which is I may just have to forgive them two goons for messing because that looks amazing, and Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon was there. Zack Snyder was in attendance, and so was Sophia Boutella. And this was an exclusive event. I mean, like I said, way upper class than anything we our usual screenings. There was only about 250 people that were there in general that they said fit in that room, and it was like I said, it was the highest scale thing. I went out and bought new clothes for it because showing up in a damn shirt was not going to do it, and I am so glad that I followed those instructions and did not, because I'm so out of place.
Now, William, now you've reeled that. Can we talk about the other stuff relating to it, or do we have to keep a lid on that yet?
What's the other stuff?
The stuff that we discussed earlier.
Oh, let me look at the message. I was getting your messages, but I was like doing like 10 things at once. I got your dog gift.
Yeah.
No, we're probably gonna we can go into detail tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay, so we can't talk about that about that with that and that thing and yeah. Okay, so I do get to use this tonight.
I didn't get that. I'm sorry. You're confusing me tonight, man. What were we? Message me and tell me what you're talking about, so I don't actually trip up.
Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'll go ahead and message right now. It's still probably gonna be no.
So wait, was this in Vegas?
Yeah, so this was in Vegas. And I'm gonna bring up some pictures.
Oh, you can bring up the pictures, huh?
Yeah, I can bring up pictures, but I can't bring up any other specific stuff. Not yet. I probably can. I'm just playing it safe because we've never done something like this. We usually just do screenings, and then you're given a non-disclosure, whatever, until like the next day or some shit like that, or an embargo or something. But this was different because they actually showed footage and stuff. Like we could not do anything with the we had to have our phones down when anything was actually on motion on phone, but we actually could,
So you mean to tell me, William? You mean to tell me you have seen more of Netflix's Avatar than I have now?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I was sitting at a table with people who were jazzed about it, and I'm like, wow, I'm happy for you guys. It looked cool though. I mean, for what it's just I would watch it in general just because it looked kind of cool. But I'm not a fan of it at all. I'm not like comparing it to anything. I would just watch it because it looked kind of cool, and they were all up there too. The little guy who plays the main dude was there, so yeah, he was there.
Yeah, it's definitely better than 10 guys dancing around to levitate a rock the size of a softball.
Oh yes, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that. We are going to talk about that because
we can talk about the thing I just messaged about. So we can't talk about that.
I have pictures. But hold on.
Okay. Oh, this is I can't wait to see the comments on this because I have I have been aware of this event for about a week now, and I've been aware of within the last couple hours of other things from it. So
there was one in particular I wanted to get the very first, the way we opened up the night, because the whole event was just really cool. Hold on. And like I said, I went out and because my casual is not their casual. I was like, oh my goodness, I made the right decision by
and it sounds like Bradley and Austin, you guys were there too.
Yeah, Brad. Like I said, I'm gonna just kind of hint on it, but then we're going to. I would say you could post I'll give you an example of what we can post, but hold on. Here's one in particular. I want to make sure that I get in particular here. So give me a couple minutes. I forgot one. I forgot one that I wanted you guys to see.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this. You guys are gonna love this. I think probably some of you have already guessed anyway. And how's it going, Aaron? How's it going, Aaron? And we are definitely gonna get into this.
What is it? I'm not looking at the screen right now.
Because the Rockets, we are definitely gonna get into this because it's like I think.
This what I'm about to show you guys is only gonna take a couple of minutes because the main topic is Quiet Place in WrestleMania, and an open mic.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it's pretty obvious. It's like, just as an opening comment, I'll say, I mean, it's I mean, it's starting to be clear that it's as people have asked if it's a work, it's starting to very much as Rebel a work.
And to be honest with you, and I'll go into this.
I don't think it was a work initially. I think it's turning into a work, though. They made the best out of the situation, and they made everybody happy in some sense.
Yeah, it could be that too.
I think it's about 70-30. But here's the thing, though. How it became a work, I don't care because that little segment that they did, and like I said, it takes.
I think they did more than we thought they were ever going to do.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it takes a lot for me to get excited about WWE because, like I've said for a long time, I think it's just a bad product for the most part. It has its spots, but for the most part, it's just something I endure. It's not something I necessarily enjoy. It's something I endure because if you're going to watch the wrestling world and make it a part of your social media and all that, you have to cover WWE. So I do it as a chore. But today wasn't a problem at all. So, at this event.
Oh, wow. Look at that shit.
I got a selfie. And Brad and Austin found them first, and then they're like, "Hey, did you show me something? I got you guys here, and you didn't even let me know." He's like, "Oh, we thought you passed him." I didn't. He's a little bit smaller than I was expecting. I didn't.
That's your first statement when he said, "Oh, I met Zack Snyder." He's a little smaller than I thought he was.
Well, no, but I couldn't listen. The room was packed, and I couldn't see a lot of people, and I'm tall. But things were kind of packed down there in this little lobby area they had, but there he was. I finally found him. I'm like,
Did you get a chance to talk to him, or was it a quick photo?
Yeah, I did get a chance to talk to him.
Got a chance to do more than talk to him.
Yeah, they gave out these footballs, obviously because it's a Super Bowl event, and then there's him signing. He's signing it.
So
and
they were there for the Super Bowl. What you're saying?
Yeah, this whole Netflix thing is for the Super Bowl, and then there's the two freeloaders. I mean, two people that
I should have went to Vegas, man. What the hell? Should have went to Vegas.
You can kind of see he drew Wonder Woman on the in the sword and everything, and then he signed his name there.
Cool. Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, there's them. There's where I was. There's the Wonder Woman. He drew different characters on the thing.
That's really cool. Wow.
Yeah. So that's what we did. But I can say we'll go.
Gotta put that in a glass case, man.
Yeah, I would say. I would have asked him to draw Wonder Woman shopping stuff while his head off.
I will probably put it in the store next to the pictures, or I might put it back here. Who knows? When I redo this,
get a glass case for that. Frame that up.
Yeah, put a hyperbaric chamber. Yeah.
Okay. I won't go that far, but yeah, we talked about the Pun Raider for a little bit. Thanked him for getting us off to that start with that tweet because that really what got us going on the momentum that we really have never looked back at that point. A couple words. I told him, Film Junkie said hi. I told him you said hi, Brad.
Yes, I did ask, and I did ask about that when William showed me those pictures. Oh, so you told him Brad says hi, right? He said, yeah.
Yeah. Because we were talking about the fundraiser.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really cool. You got a chance to talk to him in person about the fundraiser.
Sophia Patel was right there, but it was either him or her. Obviously, she's hot, but she was too far away from me. And really, I mean, I can, I got a feeling I might. Who knows if I might meet her again? But I really wanted to talk to him. He was right there, and he had the security guard was really nice. It was a nice event. Like I said, we'll go into detail tomorrow because there's a lot in that little hour. Yeah, like I said, for you guys that are, I'm not an Airbender fan, but I was there. I took a lot of pictures for you guys that are. The Three Body Problem looks good. I mean, it's a series.
Is that from Benioff and Weiss?
And they were there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. They were there too. Awesome.
So yeah, it was a cool event. So, but like I said, we'll go into more details when I get permission to actually go full on details because there's things that we can talk about that we can't talk about, like without
Can I ask a couple just like generic questions about so where was the event held in Vegas? Like, was it held like in a casino, a specific convention center area?
It was held in the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club by the link.
Oh, okay. Jimmy Kimmel. Okay.
Never did it before, and they did it up. They did it up. They sent cars for us to and fro. Nobody had
cars.
Yeah,
really?
They sent they took out. Netflix had this thing that they did with Uber. Because they didn't want, they said, why do you need to be driving? It's Super Bowl weekend. It's literally the point. And so they gave you a little voucher, boom, and they came and got you, dropped you off, took you back to wherever you needed to go, so that you didn't have to go through the traffic. Dropped us off right at the link. Go into the link, bam. This is the most exclusive event I've ever been to. Usually we just do screenings, and sometimes there's a celebrity.
Yeah, it seems like they treated you guys like you're members of because I was going to ask you, like, how many people were there? It was like a very limited number.
It was a total of 250 people, I think, there, and 20 of them were with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it looked like from the pictures William shared with me, it's like it was a very prestigious event, but also was like it was in terms of like the setting itself. The setting itself was relatively small, so it's like they were kind of pretending.
Small, and like I said, they had food. They had a little. I don't drink alcohol, so I kept turning that down. But I drink a lot of water, obviously. But they had these little prime rib things and hors d'oeuvres and shit. I was like, I was following that lady around because I'm like, prime rib, I'm there. And they were on a little steak and sandwich, and it was they had other stuff there. They had tuna. It was nice. Like I said, weird. And I was joking. I was texting Film Junkie back and forth because I was sending him pictures because I'll probably cover it tomorrow. I was like, forget it, I'm there. This is the kind of event the bouncer usually throws me out of. I don't belong here, but because it was nice. I mean, there was a lot of you could tell there was a lot of movie. There was all your Netflix executives were there.
Really? Wow.
So Scott Stuber was also there.
I don't know. I think he may have been. No, he was. No, he's not there anymore.
Was Ted Sarandis there?
Yeah, they said because they sat in a different area that was, you can see it was carted off, but I didn't recognize. They said because I asked if I could sit here, and they said no, the execs are sitting there. I'm like, okay, cool. I will go over here, but there was enough seats, and like I said, there were plenty of. I got an extra Netflix ball. We were joking like, hey, we should start playing football, and I'm like, oh, I'll really get thrown out of here.
Was Netflix recording this for social media? Wasn't like Netflix filming stuff at all? Was that from? Was there like filming the event?
They're filming. This is going to air on their thing. So.
Oh wow! Oh, that's right. Their Geek Week. Okay, so this is promo for their Geek Week. That's like an online thing coming up soon, right?
Yeah.
They're filming this ahead of time.
Yeah, it should be on. Should be air on Sunday. But like I said, and that's probably why I can't go into any details of it yet.
I was about to ask too. Is like because this might fall under what you can't. Details can't be revealed yet. Is like, could you go into now, or does this have to wait until then? Like the details, like how you got invited or how they contacted you about attending.
Well, just because we promote movies.
Okay.
We promote movies in the intermediates that we work with. Set us up.
Okay. So, pretty basic.
Yeah, they just said it. They said as a thank you for all the work we've done, and I'm like, cool. I mean, I looked at it for I looked at it first. We get emails from them all the time. I looked at it and I saw what it was. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's no way you're not doing that. Yeah.
and they said it was a suit, and that's when they said don't say anything beforehand because it's a super exclusive event, and we couldn't invite people the normal way that we usually do. Like we usually just post it and say, hey, if you want to come, that they said they wanted, they wanted a certain amount of people there, and pick the people who pick your best customer stuff like that, and so we kind of secretly went and and let people in on it. I invited people from other states that were neighboring states that that couldn't come because it was a short notice thing, but it was a lot of fun. It was, like I said, it was the most high. And like I said, I got some videos stuff that we took from there, because it was hard to take video because they were constantly going back and forth between streaming stuff, and you could not have your
it sounds like they did what they should have done with the early showings of The Flash, is confiscate people's cell phones. But
they didn't confiscate our phones, but you could. It was such a small venue that you could, if you held your phone up, they could see you. It was no way around it. One guy,
it was only like 200. It was only like 200 people. I mean, you can kind of see 200 people in a little room.
Yeah, and it was high security. We had, it was like I said, it was the highest. It was the only two people from there were those two.
Was Zack Snyder and Sadiq Batalla? Okay,
that's it. Yeah. No.
Okay, so cool not to have to sit on this any longer.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll cover it in detail either tomorrow or Friday. It's not on both.
So, and like you said, this was like a Super Bowl promotion thing. So I guess Netflix will be advertising at the Super Bowl.
They'll probably show this on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, they'll probably show this on Super Bowl Sunday. This whole point. The whole point was it was a Super Bowl event. It was the whole point of having it the week of the Super Bowl and all that. It's a Super Bowl event. So I think that it's going to go. It'll probably be live.
Could you imagine if they show William Broad and Austin like in a commercial for Netflix at the Super Bowl? That'd be crazy.
I'd be like the third time this week I made it on TV because I was on the
Wrestlemania. Yeah.
So all right, well let's get to I'm not even going to pull up any graphics on this. I think
we got to. Well, before we let's say hi to
the.
We got a ton of comments about the bombshell you just dropped in here. So again, just to reiterate, it's like there's still plenty that cannot be discussed until tomorrow. But suffice it to say, it's definitely very.
Austin, I will get you when you can post all the other pics you had. But if you just, you wanted to post that, you were the ones that I just showed, you can probably post those, no problem. You guys got a lot of the same pictures that I did.
But yeah, it's like we're gonna see, I guess, all of this in detail on Sunday, and it makes sense that showcase this for Super Bowl Sunday because these are like the big upcoming temples that are, in terms of media, the biggest ones for Netflix.
I've never been to down where the link is because I live here, but I don't. If you live here, you avoid shit and you avoid that shit. It's nice. It's got Jimmy Kimmel's thing is like right under the link. This is like right under the link. I have pictures of that too.
Yeah, and for those who don't know what, I was going to mention, like just to clarify, for those who don't know what the link is, that's like that giant Ferris wheel, correct?
Yeah. And they had a lot of stuff down there. They had an In-N-Out burger, which I was looking for a fat burger, so I passed on that. But it was nice. I mean, like I said, the whole thing was organized. You had a lot of other stuff. We weren't the only thing going on. That's the thing, is there were other things lined up because it's all those little clubs and little things are all doing.
Oh yeah, Super Bowl weekend. Everyone's doing something.
Everybody's there's like Reggie Wayne was somewhere there, and they had security. Security was tight, but it was not like overburdening. You had dogs sniffing shit, but they weren't like, and you wouldn't notice. There was enough security there, but not overbearing. It was still wide open fun, and it was a fun. Like I said, it's the most exclusive event I've been to in a while. I can't think of one where we had that few people, because like I said, when she said it was exclusive, that was wow. I thought I didn't think that, but like I said, I didn't think we were going to be able to get as close to people. I was hoping. I was looking around, and they said it wasn't going to be a problem, and then it wasn't.
Austin's asking if you can send him the pic of all you guys.
For money, yeah. Otherwise, fuck you.
It's $20.
I'm just. Hey, man, you almost sold me out, dude. I mean, football, and Austin comes up and taps me on the shoulder and shows me that. I'm like, well, who the hell is he? I just got texted. I was looking. And then, oh, I'm sorry, you got it. And I'm like, so we went out there. Like I said, I took him with me because I'm like, okay, apparently I'm blind and can't find him. But like I said, I was looking for somebody about 5, not 10 or maybe. I don't know why I was looking for it. And I saw him. He's just hanging out there in the corner talking to people. I just, I just walk right to him.
And now here's my big question, and I would assume this wouldn't fall under stuff that can't be discussed till tomorrow, Saturday. But what was Zach's reaction when you told him, I'm from the Sci-Fi Center, the channel that you promoted the charity drive for about a month and a half ago?
He said thank you. Put his hand on my shoulder and said thank you for what you're doing. And that's when I told him, I said, hey, Film Junkie says hi, and he started laughing. I said, but I told him me and Brad are putting on the thing, and I showed him a cell phone where our numbers are at, and and that's when I took that first picture. Hey, can I get a selfie with you? Because that was my main goal before all this. He said, yeah, and then I had the stupid countdown on. He started laughing. We took the picture, and then I told him about BBS this Saturday. 2 p.m. and
which would be so Zach, if you're watching, if you got anything going on, it's like we it's definitely an open floor.
Well, you
probably forgot about me. You probably forgot about me as soon as that event was over with. He's like, yeah, sure. He seemed to he understood. He knew what it was. He recognized the fundraiser. I don't know if he had immediately associated me with the fundraiser until I said it, but he recognized, he understood the fund. He knows about the fundraiser. And then it started to get really crowded with the airbender stuff that was going on, and then it just had a lot going on in such a tiny area. So I just was like, got to get back to my seat, and then they were starting, and then they started at 8:00, and like I said, they showed some scenes and stuff like that. All 3 things I'm going to watch. All 3 things that they highlighted. Obviously, I was going to watch Wrestlemania anyway, but they showed a scene. It was nice. Like I said, I was just eating the little food things up. I wish they were bigger. They had sliders, man. They had these prime rib sliders, and I kept coming back, and I'm like, and this chick's going to recognize me again. She's like, "You want more slider?" Yeah. And she just like gave me the little plate. I'm like, tasty, man. And she's like, one of the guys, I guess it was one of the cooks, said, what would you rate them 1 to 8? I graded it a 10. I said, the only reason I can't give it above a 10 if you can do that is because they were tiny, and I had to eat like 3 or 4 of them, but they were tasty, man.
Okay, well, we'll see. Thanks for dropping in, Ruth. And again, you posted about this earlier.
Yes. I'm so happy that you are. My mission is that's why I do all that is to open up a doorway for somebody to a new story. All right, well, let's get to the whatever the fuck that was.
Now that we've covered all the Netflix stuff, which we'll go into more detail on this weekend. Now we're going into the.
So we want to talk about probably
this
the
insane.
Insane disaster. Probably the most insane. Well, first off, I just want to open this by saying that was probably they should do this every year. Like that press conference, that should be an event they do every year to promote WrestleMania, because that was very well produced. It felt like a genuine sports showcase, something like you'd see the UFC do, so you can kind of see that influence a bit. But it felt very off the cuff and very genuine and very real. Had like that factor into it, I guess. That I don't know how to explain it, but
I've been watching wrestling long enough to know that some adjustments were made. I really think that this was planned before, because Cody came up on a tweet and he was talking to people saying, trust me. And those jackasses were handing out "We Want Cody" signs at one of their events.
Well, also too, I was going to mention too, like the commentary and the way that they were talking on Monday and everything, and the way they were talking today. It's like they knew over the weekend. Yeah, like this is.
I think they knew beyond that.
They still need to explain though. We're
gonna have to explain some stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, they gotta explain. They have to explain why on Friday he said, "I'm not gonna fight you at WrestleMania," then deciding today, "Nope, I'm gonna fight you."
And I think that Pat McAfee thing is part of that. I think that Pat McAfee thing was planned, and that was part of that. It was to.
Oh yeah. I forgot you mentioned that. That happened.
That was funny as fuck.
Yeah, where like The Rock was like, well, that's a great thing, right? Was it The Rock or was it Dwayne Johnson? Basically, like the Cody crybabies is making fun of the fans. Yeah,
I think that was planned too. I think that was planned a while back. I think that's why, and they're going to explain it that when The Rock comes and tells you, he's got it covered and everything else, and then when I heard him talk about my fans and all this, he's probably going to give that. But that situation where they were all out there, And when Cody comes out, doesn't even come out to his music. He just walks out there. And by the way, I was watching the version that they did not censor.
Oh, really? Wow.
They did not. And I'm like, is Tony Khan under the stage?
Yeah, because Cody just comes walking and it's like, now this is some bullshit. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they never do that. WWE never. If the crowd is saying shit like that, they're so lame.
They bleep it out all the time.
Block it out, and you can't hear the crowd. So he comes out there. And then I love the way he had the bloodline thing on the back. That was cool.
Yeah, like that. Like up until that point, The Rock was basically trying to justify to the fans why this match needed to happen. It was basically all the reasons that you were talking about, William, like how important it is for business, the history, and everything. Like he was basically being like, "No, I don't care if you don't want this match or not. This is the best match we could do."
And if for those of you who are not old enough, and back in 2003ish, The Rock was a heel like this. It was Hollywood Rock. And he was starting to act exactly like that. And I'm like, he's going to turn heel. He's going to turn heel. And I'm like, and sure enough, he did it. And when the three thing was cool, Cody comes out there. They continue to bury the World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that's for a purpose. I think that's going to, and I'm going to get to
so, because Seth Rollins looked like a confused child.
He didn't even belong on the stage, you know?
Yeah.
And people asked me to pull up a couple of comments at the beginning, which are all about this. So I'll go ahead and Anthony says, honestly, I think what happens is The Rock turns on Roman not out of the goodness of his heart. Could he beat Roman because he feels Roman's not ready to be the head of the table? It's like 3 comments. Because The Rock's ego is not going to allow a young guy to take the spot he believes is his, and I think there's a creative split. I think this is something TKO on the Rock worked up, but Hunter wants Cody to win the title.
I don't listen. The Rock, everybody you watch today has a massive ego. Everybody you saw on that stage, everybody you will ever see.
Yeah, you have to have an ego in this business.
And The Rock ego is justified. I don't think so, though. I think that this was planned.
Well, it's multifaceted now too, because there's still so many questions going. Like the biggest thing I took away from it today is like Cody's like, "Nope, I'm challenging you, Roman," and he like talks about how like the grandfather would be disappointed.
Yeah, Peter Maivia and
Peter Maivia, yeah,
and
how
he would be embarrassed
and all that, and he was basically like, and then The Rock got pissed, being like, "You're talking about my family too." And then he just slaps him.
I knew that was when you slapped the shit out of him like that. I'm like, whoa, okay. That is a metaphorical. That is where you knew that they set this up. They set this up, and I will never be able to prove it. People can dispute me to the calico and some. I think that this was a plan a lot longer than a lot of people are going to give them credit for. These people are not stupid. Triple H is not a fool. He does not. And I told you guys a couple of weeks ago. Triple H.
I saw this a minute ago.
Yeah, Triple H, as long as he's been booking, and for even before that, does not introduce elements that he is not going to use. And when The Rock came back all those weeks ago, he was always going to use The Rock. But I think, and I said this from the beginning, people got all emotional and like, oh my God, I'm going to boycott. No, you're not. Listen, I told you guys a week ago, you're full of shit. You're not boycotting WrestleMania. You're not selling your tickets. You will be there and they know you're going to be there because they know you. And I told you that they were going to do this. And
the most interesting part to me was what happened after, right? So after they cut back, and then and then the ladies interviewing Triple H being like, yeah, that was pretty chaotic. There was a lot of egos that play a lot of emotions, and then you see The Rock walking down with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, Rock leading them down. Yeah, and The Rock is basically telling you got to fix this. You know,
not using language I haven't heard The Rock use in a wrestling.
Yeah, and he's basically like, when you talk crap about our family, that's what you get. And all this stuff.
Talk shit about our family.
And then Triple H was like, that, that was out of line. You're better than that. He's like, no, and all this and that. And he said he's gonna like knock the teeth out of him or something.
Yeah, you knock the shit out of him. And they're using his position as a board member to basically let you know that he's going to be part of that match.
Yeah, they're acknowledging it now at this point. But the other thing is too, I thought was great, is like The Rock was like walking down with Roman as if he's always been a member of that bloodline, like if he's the true head of the table, Roman following behind him a little bit. I'm just like, where is this heading? And that's the great part. It's like you have so much mystery and intrigue going in the TV shows now. It's just like,
well, yeah,
they did announce on social media, and they made it official. That's Roman Reigns versus Cody Night 2 main event. But the question is, how do we get there?
That is not going to stay the same. Here's what I think is going to happen. And remember when I said they don't bring elements into the story that they are not going to add to the story. Yeah, Hollywood back. Yeah, I missed him. It's been 21 years. Seth Rollins was on that stage for a reason. They are degrading that belt, and now that is Seth Rollins' his plight. You guys basically openly shit on my belt and all the work I'm doing and call me second this, second grade that. Now, if I'm Seth Rollins, and I said it here at 11:59 on February 8th, 2024, 1 minute before it becomes Friday, if I'm Seth Rollins and Monday comes around, I fucking demand to be in that match. Fuck who's in the Elimination Chamber. I don't care who comes out of Elimination. Let him be Gunther. I don't care. Give him a Monday Raw. Seth Rollins should demand that he be in that match. And the reason why is that helps them elevate that belt to where they are now. That is his goal now, is you can't just come out here and you bury my belt on TV and this presser, and, all of you did. And he's the hardest working champion in the company right now other than Gunther. So he should come out there on Monday night and demand to be in that match. That match should be a 4-way. That match should be Reigns. That match should be The Rock. That match should be Cody. And that match should be Rollins. Each one of those guys has a reason to be in that fatal 4-way. That's what I would do. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I have no answer for what.
Well, that's the question now is, too. It's like, okay, is Rock fully heel? Is he going to line himself with the bloodline to, go after Cody? Is he going to make Cody's life a living hell up until WrestleMania? Because remember, someone in the chat brought up, Rock kept saying, he wants to play the long game. I think that we're witnessing, a year-long storyline up until next year's WrestleMania.
I know, because they would have announced. You know why? They would have announced that today. If they were going to do that, they would have announced WrestleMania in Vegas, because I think the next one is going to be in Vegas. If they were going to do that,
I think so too. But I think that they kind of want to wait a little bit. Only reason I say that is because they're the big announcement was basically what the hell happened at the ending, right? All the mystery and intrigue. I think they don't want to blow their load too early.
They may not have The Rock. See, people keep saying next year. The Rock, I don't think The Rock, who knows what The Rock will be involved
with.
I
know it's a long shot, but if he really wants to play the long game, you could do a year-long storyline. He doesn't have to be there all the time either.
Yeah, I say
you can be an authority figure for a little bit, and then come back closer to next year's WrestleMania. I still think he's involved this year. I just don't know how.
I think he's in the match. Good.
Numbers has a couple I'm going to pull up here too. Why the F would WWE? Why are they playing hot potato between The Rock and Cody, who's going to wrestle Roman at WrestleMania? He's got a few. So let me just pick a lane and stick to it. At this point, I would be shocked if WrestleMania turns out to be a triple threat match between The Rock, Cody, and Roman. Or he says I wouldn't be shocked.
No, fatal 4-way. Not only does it need to be, and the reason why they do it is because of things like today. Everybody's talking about them now. Everybody's talking about that, and not Vince McMahon shitting on people. And that's good.
This is a great way to get the attention off that.
Yeah, that is too. Yeah,
it's an excellent way, and it builds it, and it makes these matches exciting because it gets old every now and then when you start, hey, you know what? He could be.
Well, he's a new McMahon.
Just not in
the ways that need to be. But here's the thing, though, and they adding the main reason I didn't like what was going on with Cody and Roman is because it's the wait till next year shit. I hate that. You have it in front of you. Tell your story. Go take this to SummerSlam. Here's what I think is going to happen. Here's William being the booker, which I'm not. I think that they're going to have a fatal 4-way. I think that Cody could win that title. I don't think the record. I don't think they're going to go towards that record. I don't think that means anything unless they hate Hogan that much. I think Cody.
They're going to pull the trigger now.
I think he wins that title. He couldn't. If he doesn't, it doesn't make this next step I'm about to say. I think that after that match, The Rock is going to turn on Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is going to go face because he had a good run as a face, and that they will build up the bloodline story aside from that on their own because their one-on-one match does not need a title. So now
that's a great point too. I'm glad you mentioned that because, like I said, if Rock wants to play the long game, I think what you could see is, same scenario basically. Rock just goes full heel against Roman Reigns, and you basically have this Roman Reigns would become the ultimate babyface that he was always meant to be, and they always wanted him to be because of The Rock and because like that bad head of the table, basically.
And
right?
The Rock,
you can work it to where it could work like that. You just have to do it the right way. Yeah. But I mean, it just depends too. It's like, could they do a unification match where like he wins both titles and there's only one title again?
That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think. Like I said before, if it were me booking, like, I'm not saying it's going to happen. If it were me booking,
well, I know some people were speculating too that they could do like a tag team match at Elimination Chamber as a main event. It's been like people were speculating that too.
Well, they can't because what's to say he can't wrestle yet.
Yeah,
he's not going to be clear unless he's going to stand on there and do an Andre the Giant. But I would have Cody. I would have unification, and I would have him pull out that bag with the winged eagle, and toss those other ugly ass belts in the garbage. That's what I would do. That's me. However, here's the thing, and people, when I put unification, everybody's like, "Oh, you don't need to unify. What are you talking about? You don't know anything about wrestling." I love when people say, I love when people tell me I don't know anything about comic books or wrestling. Two of the things that I have probably literally have
Well, here's the thing, right? People are all like, "Oh, you can't unify the titles." Here's the thing, right? Where is Raw going next year?
That's exactly what I'm about to do. Netflix, and then you have USA. Those two companies have paid a lot of money not to have access to all of the talent.
Mm-hmm.
They paid $5 billion over 10 years, and then USA Network didn't pay $5 billion, but they paid enough money not want all their people. So if you have a brand split, and there's going to be some dispute over, well, if I pay $500 million, then I should have, I shouldn't see that guy on that channel, and when he's paying less than me, and they have both of them would have a good point,
right? And here's the thing: Netflix, I don't think cares about having a world champion on their show because, like, for them, they just want the engagement flat out. Period.
Yeah, they want that live.
Yeah,
so it would be shortchanging USA.
Yeah, it's like maybe USA Network might care more about having a world champion on their show, but Netflix isn't going to care. So if you only have one world champion, I don't think Netflix would mind as much compared to like the other traditional broadcast networks about having a world title. That's always been why there was two. So like both shows, both networks have a world champion. But now if it's on Netflix, you don't got to worry about that as much.
Yeah, you need one. So I personally think that's the way it could end. But either way, you guys at some measure, whether you want to believe, where you want to believe you got worked like I said you were getting worked. Why was everybody looking at me like I was an ostrich or something?
Right. They turned on the surface what was a horrific creative move into absolute genius storytelling.
We don't know that though. See, here's the thing though, because like I said, Triple H is not reactionary. I don't like all of his storylines. Like I said, the product hasn't been to my liking over the last 25 years. But he does have to pay attention to detail. And The Rock's not a dummy. The Rock knows he can make money. And when I say The Rock, I feel like I'm talking like him. The Rock says, but no, the Rock knows he can make just as much money as a heel as he can a face. When he was a heel, he was rolling in the dough. When he was a face, it got to the point where eventually the audience just didn't care which way. They were going to cheer his name, and they were kind of cheering his name. Now that audience split today,
it was 50-50, but I have a feeling they planted some.
They planted, and like
it was a free event. Anyone could go in there. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I got it. If they didn't plan it, they definitely picked up they picked up the fumble and ran with it pretty evidently. But either way, so you get to the same point.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have to show me some evidence that this wasn't their plan all along. When you're printing shit out and when you're bringing people in there, and like I said, this serves a bunch of goals. It brings up the World Heavyweight Championship, and then they openly mocked it on purpose so that you get something
on Friday and this.
And then they just outright called him Mr. Second Place. Go over to the second. I thought that was hilarious. Roman Reigns was really good today. He's the best.
He was good last Friday too.
That too. When he buried the belt again, and Seth was really good. This is them at their best. Like I said, you got a WWE skeptic like me excited for this show now, because before, if you were just going to give me Roman versus Cody again, I'm like, I just remember how fucking sick I was when that shit didn't. You shouldn't.
But now it's like, well, two things. One, they emphasize the commentators like, this is it for Cody. He has to win this year, or he's never winning it. They mentioned
the story. They kept saying that. So
it's kind of this year or nothing. If you're picking Roman this year, you got to win it or not. And the other thing too is, what the heck's going on with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock now? Is he a bad guy fully? Is he working with Roman Reigns? Is he gonna like the Triple H thing? I thought was most interesting, like the flexing of that power, like the tension between those two now.
Yeah,
like, you're kind of seeing like what's gonna go on, like in not like real life, not like wrestling fiction, like what's going on behind the scenes in the world of WWE in terms of like what is The Rock trying to do? What is he gonna do? Right? Because he like they made it clear like he wants that match so badly because he wants it for business and all this other stuff and legacy and all that. It's like, okay, it's just a matter of what's going on because there's no way he's not wrestling this year. I think he's gonna wrestle. It's just a matter of like what capacity, what's he doing. Because I could see him like want to screw Cody over by like either being like a special guest referee or an enforcer.
They can't do that. They can't do that after the day. They cannot have him as an enforcer.
Well, the thing is, he slapped Cody Rhodes, so it's like I don't know anymore. That's the best part, though. I have that's the thing. I have no clue where they're going with this outside of Roman versus Cody in some capacity. And I'm intrigued. I want to know what happens next now.
And like I said, their TV is interesting between that because, like I said, usually they mail it in once you name your champions after the Royal Rumble. It's basically 4 years of predictability. You know they're not going to put anybody in a situation to where they're going to lose that title now that they set those matches. But here they've done something different to where, we know that those guys are going to be in that match, but who else is going to be there? And I say they go all in. I say this is a perfect chance to elevate Gunther. And maybe have his match for the elimination or something, or you give him. But I think this is a perfect chance to elevate Gunther, get that belt off of him, and get him into a situation. But now that they've made these shows in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania actually worth something. Before they were
Elimination Chamber, I mean, we don't even have an official main event yet.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see some changes there because now, I mean, are they going to even? Did they even announce? Did they start qualifying for men's elimination?
So they announced today during the press conference that the big match is going to be Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley, hometown hero, and all that. That's a big match that might main event, although I don't think it will. And they announced that starting tomorrow night, they're going to start the qualifying matches. First one being Bianca Belair.
But that's the women's though. But have they mentioned the men's?
No, like the men's, not a peep. They've not even talked about the men's yet.
There's a possibility you may not have. That shit's going to be on 5 a.m. in the morning. Me and Aaron,
because it's going to be in Perth, Australia.
Yeah, me and Aaron are going to be watching that shit together, I guess.
Yeah.
So they may, dude. Fuck the Elimination Chamber. Give me a Gunther match with somebody. That's enough. I don't need a long match at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Well, they might. Well, yeah. I mean, thinking about it.
Yeah, but women's
elimination might do what they did at Royal Rumble, where it's only like 4 matches.
Yeah, and that was good. You have women's elimination chamber. You have Nia Jax versus
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. Give Gunther a match because you can't have Seth in there, and it does.
Oh,
right?
wait. Gunther can't go to Australia though.
That's right. He can't leave the country.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone was saying
that he's becoming a citizen. That's so silly, but I understand it. But
yeah,
that was yes, Rational Skeptic. It wasn't work. I've been saying, listen, guys, I love people being passionate about wrestling and going along with the story, but you got to understand when you're being manipulated. And I was all for it. I want to be worked in that way because after watching all this wrestling, I can predict so much shit. I can't predict it at this point. They put you in a position where you can't predict what they're doing, and this is the first time in a good long time that I couldn't do that. Yeah. This is the kind of long-term.
Like I said, the only thing we know for sure is that Cody Rhodes picked Roman Reigns, and he's fighting him night 2 in some capacity.
And I think they're all going to be fighting in night 2. I don't think that The Rock should face Rollins. None of that makes any sense. And then Rollins can lose without being pinned or whatever, and he needs to heal because he's going into this injured. And he'll be there. Everybody's crossing their fingers that he'll be ready. But if you put him in a 4-way, he doesn't have to carry a match like he would usually have to. And The Rock doesn't have to carry. It would be the main people will be Roman and Cody. Those are your studs. Those are the guys who'll be carrying the match. But the star power's there. I think The Rock turns on them there.
And because into next year's match, maybe.
No, that leads into SummerSlam.
Oh, you think they do that match at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I don't think that's SummerSlam.
Okay.
You do that at SummerSlam, and because the bloodline has lasted too fucking long. I can't take it anymore. I just.
But here's the thing, though, right? But no. Here's the thing, though, right? I agree. But you put The Rock involved in the bloodline, where he's
now. I'm in now
because he wants to push Roman to the side, maybe, and take control of him, be the true leader of it. That could be more.
I think, not necessarily. Well, that would be the kayfabe story, but I think he wants to elevate Roman. Be honest with you, because now
that's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan. Pass the torch.
Just elevate him and put him back there. But this story, and I said this last year, and I said this a couple months ago, because like I continue to say this: how are you going to have Roman Reigns? And like I said, when he brought up that tree, that illustrated it perfectly, where Roman is in that tree, and where and when the Rock rolled through it. It should have always been The Rock, and if The Rock was doing something else, you needed to pull The Rock to that storyline, because who's the biggest name in that story, that bloodline? It ain't Roman, it ain't Sikoa, it ain't Jey Uso, it ain't no. It's The Rock. The only reason why we know most of these guys, the bloodline, the Anoa'i family's been around for decades now, but most people didn't know what it was until The Rock started talking about it. Even though I knew Yokozuna, I mean, you had so many Rikishi. Umaga. There's so many of them there, and that tree was fucking impressive though. I'm gonna have to look at that tree because that.
I think Sean Ross Sapp posted like an HD picture of the tree. You can read it clearly,
and it was complete. And like I said, a lot of people were like, "I knew you guys told." Listen, whatever it happened, I think this was a long way.
Yeah. Thinking. And William, I know it's a great part too. We're still like 50 plus days away from WrestleMania. Yeah. There's still so much time to build up the story now.
Usually you just have it's dead space. The last 5 or 10 WrestleMania, that time in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania has been dead space. So now it's not. And like I said, as somebody who will, DVRs and speeds right through Raw and watch the SmackDown because I'm at the office, I'm actually engaged in the storyline.
And now it's like, okay, I want to see what Cody's doing, and if The Rock and Roman show up and talk to each other again, or what's going on with that. Yeah, I want to ask you though, because like the biggest issue people took with last Friday is that Cody Rhodes willingly gave up his spot to The Rock. So I'm wondering, storyline wise, how are they going to explain that choice and him reversing it?
The Rock, basically, it's The Rock came to him and asked him for a favor or whatever. He said he needs to end the bloodline and he would take care of him, as an exec, he would take care of him somewhere down the line. But when he heard that interview with McAfee, that triggered something in him. And he said, yeah. And then remember, he said, I had a conversation with you. I also had a lot of other conversation. And he can bring up, I called my brother. My brother told me, everybody in back locker room told me, you can't do that. And then, like I said, but the breaking point was, and they played that perfectly.
Because I feel like they got to have Cody cut a promo explaining that, because that is still the weirdest part of it. Like, why did that happen the way it did?
Yeah. But I don't believe that there's people thinking, well, they just did that, and it was Sean Sapp, who I love, and I think he's one of the greatest minds in wrestling media. I disagree with him as far as like. And people, saying, well, they made an adjustment because the fans or these people, you know who the fuck these people are?
Well, why? Well, it's because ever since the Daniel Bryan thing 10 years ago, right? Because that was an example of the fans being so outspoken. It changed the outcome of WrestleMania. It got Daniel Bryan to that main event.
This is a different WWE now. This is a WWE that just they're that's $1 billion ago, the WWE, and now they got bigger problems to cover up than that. And The Rock being booed, I think The Rock's okay with being booed as long as he's getting his family.
That's what I was gonna say too. Like, here's the thing, right? Because we saw The Rock, what was it, 2 times come out earlier this year. Once was at day 1, and then there was another time recently or something. I don't know. Or no, before that. I don't remember when. But like every single time The Rock's come out, it's been like a very cheesy promo with the crowd, just playing it up, being a generic good guy, going against Jinder Mahal. This is the most interesting The Rock has been, like, as like a performer, and like God knows how long.
It's like explicit he's been. He never used that kind of language.
No. I mean, like it felt like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it felt like genuine, like UFC style performance, and just like the way he's acting right now. I mean, maybe it's just me, but like I always feel like the bad guys can be more interesting sometimes, especially like a guy like The Rock, who's as charismatic and as much as a smack talker as he is. when he just cusses up a storm and gets angry, it actually feels like interesting and legit, you know?
This is the effect, by the way. Anybody who wants to tell you that AEW doesn't have an effect on wrestling, that's the effect. That cussing, WWE did not do that prior to AEW being around.
Yeah,
so
they still censored it, but I mean they did it. So.
Yeah, not live though. I was watching on their YouTube channel. I was watching on their YouTube channel. They didn't send. That's what it was like. Whoa! And when he slapped him, that was a good.
I'm assuming I can't play the clip of him slapping him. By the way, that gets pulled down.
No,
probably
we will be taken down. And they've already taken down some stuff, but
WWE doesn't play around with YouTube copyright. They're very, they're very intense with that.
Especially if you show, like I said, I
just thought I'd ask, but it's like I knew I was gonna get a no there.
Yeah.
I was satisfied with today's event. So yeah, let's hit the check because I've talked enough.
Well, I was just saying the last point though. Like I would say this: it's very impressive how they've gotten everyone invested in this now. And if Cody is winning this year, that means a lot more eyes are going to be on him than probably would have been otherwise. So,
and by the way, that
for everybody,
when you talk about getting eyes on him, it's like that includes like you talk about like the casuals in terms of pro wrestling, like me. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be following this right all on to the end because this has been like, even if you're not like, even if you're not like the scholar of WWE, like William is, if you're kind of more a little bit on the sidelines, like I've been, which again, it's like. It was so with it as from like 12 to 14, but this has been like you I mean you just can't miss it. I mean it's
and
like
again,
every development that's happened here.
If Cody wins, and there's that many eyeballs on him, you're like, wow, who is that guy? I should watch the show the next night. You know, more people invested in who he is now.
If I'm The Rock and I'm Triple H and I got stock shares into this, they have us already. That's why when everybody's like, "Well, I can't believe this," they're finally listening to. They were listening. Come on, they've listened to you for so long.
Oh yeah,
they know exactly how they're going to react.
I'm saying, I think Cody Rhodes actually wins even more now because he's about to get launched to the stratosphere.
Yeah, and that's why he said, "Trust me." He said he knew what was going down, and he knew, and like I said, they put out and they've done a better job this year putting out bullshit. They put out breadcrumbs laced with bullshit, and people just they ate it up. They ate it up. I enjoyed it because as a wrestling fan, I enjoy shit like this. But people are like taking it and the death threats and all those guys are going overboard. And they believe everything. But you have to understand that this is entertainment. You're being worked. It's a business and it's entertainment. I knew, and everybody, no, this is not a work. I don't think this is a work. It's a work.
Yeah, that Pat McAfee interview. I don't know if everyone's seen it, but go watch those clips.
Hilarious.
When he talked about the chicken nuggets, man, with the Cody.
That was hilarious. He's just making fun of every. I mean, he made sure he wanted them triggered today. If they weren't already triggered, WWE wanted them triggered. They wanted Hollywood Rock back. Now Roman Reigns is a much more appealing character as a face, and he's a bigger draw as a face. I think his draw has gone down a little bit because his matches have become predictable. He's become predictable. Not his fault. He didn't book himself, but they need to change it up again. So this somebody sat down and put all this together, and like I said, everybody was like telling me, and then I wanted Chris to get Chris on there because Chris didn't think it was work. I'm like, Chris, it's a work, man. He's like, well, maybe. And I'm like, no, it's a work, dude. And like I said, I've watched too much wrestling. I'm probably going to need to sit on somebody's couch and get therapy for this wrestling addiction I have. Because not only that, I'm going to Collision this Saturday. Fuck am I going to that for? Because I'm an addict. That's why. So I'll be there for Collision.
Is Collision coming to Vegas?
Collision's in Hendertucky. Ugh. But I'm going. I'm there.
Hendertucky? What the heck is that?
Henderson.
Oh,
it's at Carlo, because all the places. I'm like, why did you guys schedule this on the night before Super Bowl when come on? I'm like, well, okay.
Imagine if they got higher ratings for it than versus Super Bowl. That'd be like,
this Super Bowl is going to be crazy. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like if it became like such an international incident, like it reached that level.
Well, WrestleMania has a potential not to reach Super Bowl number, but to reach this one. And like I said, when he says the greatest WrestleMania ever, I can't think of another situation that has me going. And it's been since the last time I was just interested in a WrestleMania main event was when they did the year-long storyline with
That's a lot of wrestling, William.
Yeah, I have a problem. And then you look behind me. Come on, can't you see I have an issue? And I'm getting the TNA championship belt made too, even though they fired Scott D'Amore. Actually, they didn't fire him; he stepped down, and I'm finding out why.
I mean, I'll say this, like I know you're about to finish your thought about it. Like I'm so like this main event is probably like one of the most exciting ones ever. Just like actually, this whole WrestleMania is getting a lot more exciting because like the past few WrestleManias, it's been we've been stuck with Roman versus Brock, and I'm like I was so sick of that match.
And you've been in too many WrestleMania, and that's like I said, it's not his fault, but you have to change the perception of people getting excited. The Cena versus Rock one that they did was I like that one. But the one that they did, the second Undertaker Shawn Michaels match, where they really should have ended that streak there. When they built him up as this desperate fool, he had to get to the Undertaker, and the Undertaker was champion at that time. And the Undertaker said, "No, I don't want it. I don't want to do it. I've already beaten you, and all this." And then then HBK caused him his title against Edge at the Elimination Chamber. He actually snuck in the Elimination Chamber and cost him the title.
Right, and then it was like a career versus streak. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he said, I'm not only going to take your soul, I'm going to take your career. And the way they built that up, and like I said, they built it up perfectly, and then they fucked it up with that finish. You had to have Shawn Michaels win that match, because then look who you let him lose it to. You let him lose it to Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar goes in the witness protection program for like 6 months.
Well, yeah, to be honest, they probably should have ended. Like Undertaker should have retired after his match with Triple H. That was like the end game for the Undertaker. Yeah, like that match was like the perfect ending to those characters.
Yeah, but that was so compelled. I was saying, and somebody ruined it for me because they posted it online. I'm like, you fucking. But and then I was like so deflated. I was like, he had to win that match, and then when he didn't win that match, I was like, then when he lost it to Brock Lesnar, who Vince wanted to build up to the world, but I'm like, dude, he shows up every fucking 3 months. How are you put the belt on him and he doesn't show it? And that's a problem. That's why
WWE TV was rough from 2017 to like 2019, honestly, just because Brock was champion and never showed up.
But now I know he was quite busy. But yeah, this is where you have to, in my opinion, you have to put Rollins in that match, and that they've made the case, and that's the cool thing. If they've made the case, you guys just can't shit on my title. My title deserves to be on the same level as you guys at Triple H. Okay, you're in the match. You get to prove it. That your title is now in the same match as the title that they say was a game. And then Cody walks out with both of them. That's the way I wanted. All right, let's hit the check because, like I said, I've taken over the show.
Well, like Music Man said, that's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, I know.
And the chat is pretty much tons of. How's it going, Droga? By the way, if you're coming in late, go back to the beginning. You'll get a pretty pleasant surprise, I think. Because Ruth asked me that too. I was teasing her a bit on Twitter a little bit ago, and she's like, I used the Scrooge, like I don't something you don't know. She was like, "Oh, please tell me." I said, "Okay, we talked about it, so just rewind to the beginning. You'll see what all about."
Cool, man. Like I said,
throw that. Don't be like that kid in the Sandlot who throws it in the backyard and the dog gets it.
That's so many footballs. It was.
By the way, that's a question I've always had with it's people offered a few answers for that, but I mean the plot hole I've always had with Sandlot is when the kid gets the Babe Ruth ball and because they hit the one ball over and it goes over the fence. They think the dog owner's a psychopath, so they can't knock on his door. And I was like, wouldn't this problem be solved if they just brought more than one baseball out there with them? But a lot of people told me it's like back in the early '60s, for a 10-year-old kid, 99 cents for a baseball, that was a fortune.
That was a lot of money. 12 cents for a comic was a lot of money back then. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but that's like okay. Who we got in the chat? Yeah, there's loads of Rock and Roman talk in the chat here.
Oh, hopefully I've answered with my diatribe. I've answered like 90% of it, but yeah, we'll hit.
Yeah. Hey, I do got to dip out though because it's like 2:30 in the morning for me. I got stuff to do tomorrow. But thank you for having me on though. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
See you later, RJ. See you,
guys.
I can see if I see Roman versus Brooke one more time. So help me. It's the one time I might want
Yeah, this is it. This is. I'm not a big fan of Fatal 4-Ways. This screams Fatal 4-Way to me. There's so many ways. The story writes itself. All right.
No, sorry. Let me get back there. Let's look at something else there. What do you mean? It's because of AEW, William.
Oh, because WWE does not. Their wrestlers don't cuss on camera. That's just been a rule. Because it's always been, maybe it's because this was on YouTube and it wasn't on network. They just don't want to. They don't want to mess around with their network. Their network partners just don't like it. Whereas AEW has been cussing a lot since their formation. They've dropped F-bombs and sometimes an F-bomb will slip out. But tonight, like I said, you did not see that before AEW got into the game. The only time you saw cussing like that on a show was New Japan because they were cussing in English and they didn't care. So,
all right. Seth can get knocked out mid-match. I feel that then leave down to Cody, the Rock, and Roman.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't know how healthy. He doesn't have to go in for surgery for the strained MCL or whatever it is, but he probably should. If you have a strained MCL, that's one step before a torn MCL, and you don't want that. Then you're out for the year. So they got to be real guarded. They can have him in the match, and they can guard him and all that. But I think that But once again, even if he loses his title that night in that Fatal 4-Way, in my opinion, he's done it. He's elevated that title up to this top tier, and he can get the title back. Titles can be won back. But if he wins the title back, he now has a much more prestigious title than he went into WrestleMania with because it's been elevated. That's how I would do it.
I think I brought this up a minute ago. Elimination. Baby.
Yeah, I'll be watching it with you, Aaron. I'd have a watch party for Elimination Chamber. I think I will have a watch party for Elimination. For those of you who want to be up at butt crack in the morning, 5 a.m. You want to watch wrestling? You want to watch wrestling with me? We'll watch it.
Yeah, Music Man.
Yeah, it's on Australia. Aaron will be living like it should be great.
Yeah, but the WWE shouldn't be in WB. I love you comparing it to WB because of We Want Cody.
I don't think they were reactionary at all. I think this was always a plan, and I know a lot of people. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I've been saying it. I didn't just flip. I've been saying this for a long time. So man, I've been like I said, I've watched too much wrestling to not know some shit. I'm sorry.
The AEW effect.
Yeah, as far as the cussing goes, is letting you know.
Yeah, that's bringing it up.
Yeah.
William, how would you feel about during the Fatal 4-Way, Seth and Cody get surrounded by the Bloodline, and then Stone Cold comes over the assist?
That would be fucking hilarious. I would go for just about anything. Now, to me, his glass breaking, that crowd would go absolutely ape shit, man. Because you would have The Rock in there wrestling, and then you have Stone Cold come out and just stun all of them on the outside of the ring.
Well, like I said, it's like the way this is all played out. It's like it's enough for like even to get like a casual like me to say I'm gonna follow this through. I want to see where this all goes because it's been
that's the goal. They did it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I think they did a great job.
Didn't they cuss during the Attitude Era?
They said ass. They didn't drop not like they did today. No, not that I recall. You guys, I kind of tuned out a lot of the Attitude Era because I think that and Ruthless Aggression was trash. But I watched enough of it. I didn't see them. They used ass a lot, but they didn't use shit. I never heard shit on
they use
on
the PG cuss words.
Yeah, they use the ones that you can get away with. AEW doesn't care. But a lot of that is because AEW's influence is from New Japan. A lot of their wrestlers came from New Japan, so they just do whatever the hell they want.
I think you also said you saw this all unbleeped.
Yeah, I watched it live. I don't know if on WWE's YouTube channel they were cussing. Then they'd gone back and censored it, but I know some other people were watching it and they were watching it and they were censored it. So some other place. So wherever else they were bought, but on YouTube, I was watching it on YouTube live. It was not censored, and I was like, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they felt so they feel that because they were censoring it. But when it's live, you really can't. It's live. So.
Yeah. See, Aaron says, "Hey William, if you're game, why don't we all have an Elimination Chamber watch along?"
Done. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. How's it going, Spider-Man?
So how you doing, Spidey?
Oh, Spider, did you again another kind of a Johnny come lately tonight? It's like, did you see the beginning, Spider-Man? Because go back to the beginning, you're going to see something that pretty awesome that William has revealed, and we still can't talk about it in full, but it's
No, not the details. Probably tomorrow, sir.
Also, William, it's not
that's different. I mean, that's an awful word, by the way. But it's not like the S-bomb is the line. The S-bomb is generally the line because that's usually the word that the network's like, oh, don't do that. F-bombs and S-bombs. Cunt, it's not a good word to use, obviously, especially in reference to a woman, but that's not the same, in my opinion.
Says we'll check it out. Oh yes, please do check it out, man, because it is yeah, I don't want to say what it is because I just kind of experience it for themselves. But it relates to the thing William and I have been teasing for. Well, he's been talking about. I've been doing more of the teasing for the last week or so that we couldn't talk about until now. And I'm still again. Okay, yeah. We'll just say he met Zack Snyder at the Netflix Geek event in Las Vegas. For anybody who's coming in late tonight, yeah, that's his autograph and a little sketch of Wonder Woman there. And got to see some footage of what was the third one? You saw Rebel Moon and Avatar: The Last Airbender. What was the third one?
Three Body Problem, which we're gonna cover that shit. That looks mind blowing.
Yeah, but that still annoys me. That's you've seen more of Avatar, even though we're getting it.
I invited you. I invited you, dude. I invited you. You were the first person I invited.
He's when he got the news that he was going to be able to attend this, he reached out to a few people and said, "Hey, can you make it out to Vegas for this week?" Which I couldn't, but God, I would have loved to.
I almost thought about flying you out, but if it wasn't for Super Bowl Sunday, I would have flown you out. But the prices would have just been because it's Super Bowl Sunday. But generally, I can get you a JetBlue or whatever, and you would have suffered. You would have suffered for that flight. And I'm not telling you guys where he lives, but you would have suffered. You would have suffered like I suffered for an hour when I went to San Diego on JetBlue, which is basically a Greyhound with wings. But you would have gotten here, and once you got here, you would have had fun. I mean, I wish you could have been there. I like I said, not for lack of effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a few people were able to join William for that, and of course we'll be able to talk more in depth about everything that was shown and revealed. Now what? Well, okay, maybe this might fall under stuff we can't reveal about it yet, because I was going to ask, did he say anything about the director's cut of Rebel Moon, or about the director's cut of the second one, or was it just all focused on Scar?
It was all focused on Scar.
It was all just like the initial release of Scar.
Oh God! If you haven't seen Child of Fire, you got to see that epic movie. He was cussing. It was funny. They'll probably beat that out. He's well. I mean. He's always got Netflix will probably bleep that out.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought we were on cable. I'm like, no, it's Netflix.
Well, he's got if you've seen Zach when he's in interviews, I mean, he's got the enthusiasm of like a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, it was cool because, like I said, barely missed. He'd been in places where I barely missed, and couldn't get to. Like I said, this event was great, and I'll go into detail. Oh, by the way, please like and subscribe.
Yes,
please like and subscribe. We've had like almost 28, 27 people in here at any given time. Like, you guys have been doing a great job, and I've been doing a better job in reminding you that helps us. I am going to go over our numbers on Saturday. Our subscribers are creeping up. They're getting up there. But our views, we had like 5,000 views in 1 month. That's a lot.
Well, the big turning point I noticed was Saturday when we just had, we had a ton of people tuning in, but for what we usually get, but also, I mean, the size of the panel too. I mean, that really was like, oh man, we are pulling in a crowd now, and we're also noticing in the chat people are not just watching via YouTube, but also via Facebook.
On Saturday, I don't do it for these shows, but Saturday we will be broadcasting on Instagram. Also, next week, the guys from Pooh Blood and Honey did get a hold of me.
Oh,
good news,
okay.
bad news. Good news, bad news. Bad news is they're not available. Those two guys, those two gentlemen are not available. The good news is they've made available an actor for me who's playing Tigger. So we're going to interview Tigger on next Saturday's show.
That's perfect because he's the only one.
Yeah, and well, he's. What do you mean?
The Tigger, yes. The wonderful thing about Tigger is I'm the only one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've lost my childhood, and that Pooh Blood and Honey has replaced that Pooh that you know. So yeah, we're gonna be interviewing. Now I don't know if it's gonna be live because it's time. That's why it's been so long to try to get with these guys because there's a time difference, and his live would be 5 a.m. or our live would be 5 a.m. in the morning. There's an 8-hour time difference, so we don't want him doing that. So we're probably gonna record his interview and get him on there. But you know what? And we also have the director of Mousetrap. So we may have a situation where we have next Saturday's show is going to be a lot of craziness with two public domain Disney characters. I'll probably just coin that show the Disney fucked up public domain.
How's it going, Strange? Yeah, I think I'm.
How you doing, Strange? A long time no see, man. How you doing?
Really? So he has been. Oh, yeah, because this is the first.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. Aaron says the word. I'll just leave it alone there. Is widely used here in Australia. Axel will back me up with that, and it's also widely used in the UK as well. I mean, it's like I've met enough Brits and Aussies to know that that is part of colloquial, albeit salty speech in both Australia and the UK. Aaron also says, "Oh, Tigger's my favorite character." Yeah, I always dug Tigger too.
Yeah, this is a different Tigger. This Tigger's
this is not. Out. Yeah, this is not the Tigger who's gonna like bounce around on his tail and yeah.
This is a homicidal. So I'm gonna have a homicidal mouse and a homicidal. I'm Disney's gonna like destroy my channel.
He's probably. I bet in the movie they have him like strangling somebody to death with his tail, or they have him like.
Yeah, you saw the tail. The tail. They did something with the tail. The tail. You kind of see it dragging.
Probably like the tail is like strong enough. He can like pogo stick his tail like through somebody's torso and impale them.
Something sick. All right, so let's wrap. Let's do with the chat. No.
Yeah, well, William definitely didn't. Yeah. Well, and also it's like a few. That's not till like mid-July, so there will definitely be time. But
yeah.
I think we're
in Vegas. I'll probably say.
But yeah, I think we're kind of in the chat there. So I think the only other topic was a Quiet Place.
Yeah, can you go ahead and pull up the actual? Please pull up the real one.
Pick the what?
It's only 1 minute. Pull up the trailer for me. I meant to send
you a message. Okay.
I can do it if you want.
I got it. Pull it up on. I didn't know the trailer come out.
Used to the all the admin controls now. You still kind of need.
I didn't even know the trailer come out, so this really kind of squeaked by.
It came out yesterday, but I had other stuff going on, and I really wanted to cover it.
Okay, gotcha. So here we go. Get it. Okay, here we go, guys. Pull up the Quiet Place Part 3 trailer.
The official one?
Okay. Yep, it's from Paramount's YouTube channel. So here we go.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and widen the screen. There we go. I don't know why Netflix.
Okay, sorry, buffered a bit there, guys. What the hell?
There's a way you can
Okay.
I got a little texting that I'll probably be playing along with. We're definitely going to be promoting it. We promoted both of them. The only reason why we kind of cut our promotion for the second one is because it was being released 4 days before the pandemic began. So,
well, yeah, and then it got bumped like a year. Yeah.
So, but we will definitely be promoting it.
Yeah, I've definitely liked the first two, and I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm really enjoying the non-linear storytelling they're doing with the kind of, they're showing the future, but also with each one they progress a bit into the past to show a bit of like how this all got kicked off.
Yeah, and the alien nature of it, these things are gross, man. They just, and I'm gonna do a breakdown of the creature on one of these shows as we get closer to it, because there's a lot about the creatures that you kind of miss when you're watching the movie if you're not, really paying attention like that. So definitely going to that one.
Yeah, one thing actually I've always wanted to bring up related to A Quiet Place, because I think I might have seen this mentioned once or twice, but it's not super ubiquitous. But because the nature of how the aliens hunt, they hunt by sound. So how would you compare this into like stylistically to like the Tremors franchise? Because Tremors, of course, still graboids, again, they hunt by sound. So it's it's a similar kind of idea, and that but again, they play out very differently. But
that's why I Tremors. It was localized, and if you could actually avoid them, they were under the ground for the most part.
Yeah,
these things are like fucking hopping around, and that's just horrifying what they're doing. They're hopping, they're snatching people, they're super quick. And the fact that you can't make any sound because they were following the vibrations. They're following these other creatures are following the sound, and like I said, it's clever the way they can stop them now. So but yeah, it's they have those things. Like I said, they're just detecting. But I want to, like I said, they arrive on meteorites. So it's like I want to know a little bit more about them.
Yeah. It's kind of maybe similar how the Cloverfield guy gets here. I'm just kidding.
Well, that one was I really wish they would come out with another movie to really sew that one up, because like I said, a Cloverfield was what it was, but 10 Cloverfield Lane was good, and then the Cloverfield Paradox was horrible. But I really think they should come out with another, and they've been talking about it for years now. So
and the fact that it ended with the last shot of it was the one monster that's like 10,000
Enosh is driven me crazy with.
That just came out of left field. It's like, what the hell? And that's how you end it. And then you just no answer. Just he's back. He's back, but now he's he's tall enough to stick his head above the clouds. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna go. You didn't see the first two, dude? The first two are great movies, man. You should go in there if you're a horror fan. Oh my goodness, they are. It's great. What's it? Will there be armies of librarians? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember when we did that. We did when we promoted it. We had people. They had to. I forgot what the catchphrase of the original movie was, but you had to do it without saying a sound. So you had to come up with ways like sign language and all that, and that's how we picked our winners. So that was great. All right.
Army of Librarians, though. I like that.
That's hilarious. Boy, you guys are bringing it tonight. Okie dokie. I think we're done for tonight. I think I got all my.
Yeah. Well, we could finally talk about the thing though, so that was nice.
Yeah. Talk about my selfie.
Yes, and the football too. Yes.
Talk about my selfie and the football, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, again, like I said, yes, Sophia Patella right there.
He drew. I forgot what he drew. I got to ask Brad and then what they drew on. What he drew on
their football.
Yeah, but there you go.
I
we go into Go ahead.
I have read online though, Zach. He is about. You see him post pictures of him bench pressing all the time, but he's only like 5'8" or something like that. So he could kind of disappear in a crowd.
He did, because I was looking for him. I mean, I was looking for him and I couldn't find him, and they ran into him. And so, okay, cool. All right, guys, we're gonna cut it right now because I got it's Friday. You know what Friday means, and then Thursday or then Saturday we got our show. And I'm gonna open the store, go to AEW, and come back and do our show, and then do like a Midnight Madness sale for people. So because I will be neglecting you in the middle of the day. So we are almost at 40,000 views. By the way, we'll probably reach 40,000 views this month.
Yeah, we'll probably reach you with Batman v Superman.
We could, because we're averaging. Plus, I've streamed every damn day. There's been no break. I think this is number 44, 45 in a row. Okay, but like I said, it's easy. It's easy when it's stuff I'm into. So, all right, Brad, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Rivera. You can find me here and there on Facebook. You can check out all my great writing out there, and find me here on the Sci-Fi Center.
Wait a minute. You're calling your own writing great? That's a little.
As opposed to calling it shit. I mean,
I got my shitty writing on Kung Fu Panda. I mean,
check out all my garbage that I just spew out I just throw word salads together for no.
All right, so hey, it's been a good day, but who knows? While you're having a good day, somebody else might be having an awful day. Make sure you're paying attention to your people. Make sure you're paying attention to your relatives, your friends, your coworkers. If you see things change, do whatever you can, to prevent a really bad outcome. Give them this tool: 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, 24/7 call, text, chat. We will be adding to the coffers on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and that's one of the assets that money goes to. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to get invited to the vodka stream or not. I've been on there a few weeks in a row now after not being on there for 5 years, so it's kind of cool. One way or another, I'll be on, and I will probably be on later on in the evening too, either once or twice. So you guys will see me tomorrow. And on that note, I saw somebody say something in there. What's that? Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. That's it for me.
Later, guys.
See you later on today.